Hello, everybody. Back at it with another episode. I know we just dropped an episode on Sunday, but that was a special one. Now we're back on the usual schedule. Chris Rafferty here alongside Aiden Crowley and Brett Tibbetts. What's up, boys? We just got back from a long weekend hanging out.
We
Oh my
did, we
God, it
did.
was so much fun.
So much fun. Yeah. Loved hanging
Shout
out with
out,
you guys.
shout out New Hampshire for having absolutely nothing to do. I think all we did was we played shell, we watched hockey, and me and
Drink
you
beers.
drank because we're 21. Brett didn't have a sip
Yeah.
of alcohol this weekend.
hmm Proud of you, Brett, for just DDing life.
hmm
Um, no, I mean, it was fun, though. We just blew the boys. I think that was the first
Yeah.
time we've, seen each other month now, maybe two. That was the first time we actually hung out though.
Yeah, first time because we saw each other back in like January when
Dinner.
I moved my stuff out of school. We all met in
Yeah.
Worcester. But other than
We
that,
did,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't think we hung out. We haven't hung out like even going back to
It's cool.
a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. So
Watched Umass win the national championship though.
that
Shout out
was
Umass.
a
First
little
one in school history.
disappointing of how much of a blowout it was. Like I wanted UMass to
I
win.
know.
Shout out all the fellas there, especially the ones that follow the gram recently. But I mean, I wish it was kind of a closer game. You know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
almost
Just a more exciting one, like from both
yeah,
sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
5-0. I mean, was it did the
yeah.
other team? Did they know it was a championship game? I'm not sure if the teams
No,
had the
I
memo.
don't think they knew that you had to like shoot in order to score.
Maybe they thought it was a
Yeah.
3-game series for the first time ever. I don't know what's going through their heads, but anyways, I mean, I think since we dropped an episode so recently, you guys want to just get into the hot seat teams right away.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Who starts? Want
I
to do
think
eeny, meeny, miny, mo? Figure it out.
Can I go first just to get it out of the way?
All right, you can be Mo.
Uh so I had the Coyotes. They went 0-4 and I'm done talking about them. That's
All
it.
right,
I don't
let's
I don't
take
want to
it.
I don't want to talk about the Coyotes anymore. They went 0-4.
Brett, yeah, you go.
So I had the Devils. They went 1-3.
Oh God.
And two of those losses were to the Penguins, and another one was to the Sabres.
Oh, you
So
suck.
that's just a brutal week.
Boys, we have no
I
credibility
also
as of right now.
I also don't want to say anything else about that shit team.
They
Anyways,
lost two good defensemen on waivers too.
Yeah.
Fatten and or they traded Kulikov. They lost Fatten to waivers. Fun fact.
I guess I'll just wrap it up after pumping the fucking shit out of the Minnesota Wild's tires last week. They continued to on Wednesday beat the Avalanche 8-3. Nice boys, fucking
That's
right.
right.
Then they lost to St. Louis 9-1. That was on a Friday, I believe. And then after that, the next day they lost in overtime to the same St. Louis team. So 1-1. Some
Better
great
than
efforts in
us.
some games, some awful efforts in the other. That's hockey,
Hmm.
baby. That's just what happens. So I guess hot seat teams were very quick this week. Gonna pretend like this
We
didn't happen.
got some big trades to get into.
Yeah, we were
so-
focused on the trade deadline. We weren't worried
Yeah.
about what team was doing what.
Yeah.
We wanted the money moves to be
because
made.
we recorded the deadline special on Saturday, and there were some then, but most of the bigger ones were afterwards, Sunday and Monday. So
Yeah, so segueing into the trades, I think instead of starting with the Taylor Hall one, which is obviously big news, I really want to start with the Mantha trade.
okay,
Yeah.
I feel like this may not bigger player names, but there's a lot going down here, a lot of undertones in this trade.
maybe yeah, I feel like slightly lopsided. Maybe I don't know.
Because Mantha, so the trade was to the Capitals. They get another big bodied forward on their lineup, along with Wilson and Ovechkin. So they got Mantha and gave up Panic, Jacob Verana, a first, and I believe a second, but it's a
Mhm.
second 2 drafts, not this one.
Yep.
Stevie Y is playing checkers, man. Everyone else, I mean chess. He's playing
Yeah,
chess.
okay. I was gonna say, I was like, wait, what?
He's playing chess.
Um,
he's making chess look like checkers though.
Yeah.
Yes. He fleeced the Caps.
Fleeced. And I was talking to our boy Bobby, who's a big Caps guy, so I wanted to see what his input was on this. And we both were kind of in agreement. We're right now it looks a little weird just because of how Mantha even is having a down year for himself, who's typically only been on a bad team for his whole career in Detroit. but like he could easily turn into like hit like a player that his ceiling reaches to. You see what I'm saying? Like I think right now it's a little weird, but I could see it turning out in the Caps' favor for sure.
No, I completely agree. And correct me if I'm wrong. He's a first round, an early top 10 first round pick
Who just
from
signed a contract extension, I believe 5.8 for 4 years.
yeah, but you know, there were a lot of expectations. I actually remember playing I think it was either NHL, I think it was NHL 14. I remember playing like be a pro and I was
Mhm.
in juniors and I don't know if he had been drafted at that point yet. So it was either that or like NHL 12 on the Wii. And I remember Mantha being this sick player in the game. And I was like, this
Yeah,
dude is unbelievable. But he's been on Detroit his entire career and he's just not been good. But he's this huge, he's a Blake Wheeler type player. He's this
exactly.
huge power forward.
Mhm.
So I think it's a lot to gamble for him, potentially turning out to be this sick player. I don't know if I would put that much on him figuring it out, but
Mhm.
that is an argument for why they paid so much.
Yeah, I think it's definitely quite the gamble for the Capitals, and it could turn out in their favor, like you said. I can see it happening, but like just my initial thought when I saw it was like, dude, even like take out the draft picks and you're just receiving Mantha and giving away Vrana and Panic. Even
Yeah,
then, if I'm the Caps, I'm like a little maybe I do. I'm probably more like 50-50 in that, but then like they gave up a first and a second too, and I'm like, dude, like I get. I mean, I don't know. Those picks are more valuable to the Red Wings, but
I mean they're not really
it,
gonna be high picks, but they're still
true.
picks. I
Yeah,
mean,
that first round pick is going to be bottom 10. So
Pastrnak was like the
yeah,
26th overall pick in
yeah,
his draft.
dude.
You can get
Yeah,
anyone.
yeah,
Quick plug.
Red Wings have, I think, with that trade, it pushes them over 11 picks in this draft now,
yeah. That's
Yes,
what it was.
yes.
which
Yeah,
is ridiculous.
it's like, and I think there was four of them in one round, either the second or third.
I
Had
think
like
it's
they
a
had four
second.
picks.
No, I think it's
It
the
might have been.
third. I don't think it's the
Yeah,
second. I think it's
I can't
it's
remember.
one in the
But
first. I
like,
think it's
dude,
three in the second, four in the third, three in the fourth. Like
it's
it's top
insane.
heavy too. It's not even like,
Yeah,
oh, it's a bunch of sixth and seventh rounders. They're like all top three, which is
yeah.
scary.
Hopefully they don't blow it like the Bruins did with their three in a row a few years back. But
Hey
I
Stevie
don't talk about
Y, what you should do is draft the next Jacob Zaboral and with your first overall pick.
I
So
or Zach Senyshyn.
yeah,
Nasty.
pick the
So
player that's
so much
most
better than Matt Barzell, dude.
yeah, pick the player that's most likely to end up playing overseas because he's just so
or
awful.
or Jake DeBrusque. Don't forget Jake DeBrusque
Dude, did you see my tweet? I
from
tweeted
when.
out
I don't know.
right as like Taylor Hall got traded. Maybe this could be a segue into that.
Yeah.
I tweeted, "Dear Hall," like a little comment. I go, "Please throat chop DeBrusque at the first practice."
I saw that.
Sincerely, all of Boston.
Dude,
We
my
segue.
favorite one, my favorite tweet though that I saw was the clip from Beyond Scared Straight where they're waking up the kid and it's like Bjork being woken up in the
Yeah.
middle of the night, told that he's going to Buffalo,
Yeah.
and they're just screaming at him, "Get out of here! Get out!"
And he's like grabbing his bellows.
Yeah,
No, if
Um,
you're Bjorky there too, what do you like?
I know. I was thinking about that too. It's
How
like
I
how are
feel
you
awful.
because
feeling?
I do. My initial thought was I feel awful that it was Bjork and not DeBrusque because Bjork's development has been halted with injuries, obviously, the last few years. Like he was out for I might have even been like a whole year, a couple years back.
Mhm.
And so now, to go to after it being halted because of injuries. Like he was in a good development system with the Bruins, but injuries hurt him and now he just goes to a bad development system. And
At least he'll get more
like
minutes though. He's
yeah,
guaranteed more minutes there.
like
If they
he's
trade
gonna
for him.
play second line probably.
Man, I'm
I
rooting
have to
for him though.
guess. Like, oh, for sure. Yeah, I
I
want to see him do
loved
good.
him.
I loved him, but he only had like
Just
5 points this year, so
I know. I don't know. He
whatever.
just was a guy
But
that was given a lot of opportunity and just could never find it. Like, seem to string those points along
yeah,
games, and it's not easy to do.
yeah,
No.
But
And
still,
as Bruins fans, I mean, I think us three we're more than just the average fan, we're we dive deep into the Bruins and their development and their prospects and stuff. So I think we have a pretty like an above average understanding of the Bruins system and how many like who they have. And I think we'd be sitting here saying this about any prospect that the Bruins give up, whether it's, you know, Bjork, whether it's Zaboral, Vakanainen, we're going to sit here and be like, yeah, you know, hate to see him go, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Maybe not Zaboral, personally.
I don't.
If it was, how do you say it? Lauzon?
Lauzon?
Lozon,
I
yeah.
would hate to see him go, dude. He's
Oh yeah,
blossoming into something.
he's. I hope he's here for a while, playing in our top four with McAvoy and Grizzly and Carlo. I think
Well,
those four are
I
gonna.
really
want to
turn this into like a Bruins podcast. For like 10
Fuck, I
minutes.
know.
Like,
I don't want to get into it,
but
dude.
let's change the gears to Taylor Hall before, you know.
Yeah.
Get the guys and look, oh, the Boston
wait,
Bruins.
That has
you
to
guys-
do with Bruins too, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. But more people want to hear about Taylor Hall than us talk about Vakanainen
Yeah.
and Zaboral for 30 minutes.
Well, I was just trying to make a point because I
know, I
do
was just fine.
I do think like it is a bummer watching Bjork go, and Brett, you made the good point that he's struggled with injuries the last few years. So it's a bummer. As a Bruins fan, I hate to see him go, especially with how much time they've kind of put into him.
Yeah.
I think Hall's a pretty good return. So
yeah, you know,
And
bittersweet.
Lazar.
and
Bittersweet.
Lazar.
I think Lazar is going to fit in really well in that fourth line just because like that's his role, that's his job. You know, his ceiling's
Yeah.
not the highest, but that's his job and he's going to do his job somewhat well. I just hope he can be a little bit better defensively than I think Wagner has looked awful this year personally. Corrali, you know, not much better. You know, usually our fourth line is really holding it down there. So
I think Bleed will get a good amount playing with Lazar
Carson
on
Coleman.
that fourth line and Coleman too. You know, that adding him there, just bringing a new face in on that in that fourth line rotation where we seem to just be rotating like 6-7 guys in and out all the time. You know, we finally have a solidified center for them. So
can I ask you guys a
Okay.
hypothetical?
yes.
Yes.
You look at the roster, the forward group on paper, and obviously, first thing you're going to see is, you know, put the best players in order down the line. So, in that case, from what it's been, Bergeron between Marchand and Craig Smith, like it's been.
Mhm.
Then you would have Hall, Krejci, and then Pasternak. That's where you would assume that he would fit in. But that third line, I don't like that line of Coyle between DeBrusque and Richie. I don't like that at all. I don't think it should work. I don't think it's going to work.
I personally, sorry, I just wanted to throw in there. I personally would rather see Coleman on that line, whether it's for DeBrusque or for Richie.
Mhm.
I'm a big Coleman fan. I like the way he plays, especially with Coyle, who's a big body that just, you know, counters Coleman, who's small and fast as hell. So I love seeing Coleman play on that third line, no matter who that third guy is on that line.
So what I think, I do love Craig Smith on that top line, but I would want to put. I don't want to take Richie off of Krejci's line. That's not something I want to do because Krejci plays so much better with a bigger winger, in my opinion. And I think those two have played pretty well together this year. I know you guys have your opinions on Richie, but I've loved his game. I loved him for the Bees. So
I have too.
I think he just does one thing really well.
Yeah.
And as his top six guy, I don't think that, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to hate on him. I'm just saying like he does his job well. But outside of that, I don't think he's reliable at all. That's my only thing.
No, I agree. I've just liked what I've seen out of Richie when he plays with Krejci. So in a perfect world, I like my top six to be Bergeron, Marchand, Pasta, Krejci, Hall, Richie.
Mm-hmm.
And
I would like Smith on that third line.
Yeah.
Smith, I would
I
do
do
Smith,
like Smith and Coyle together. Yeah.
Smith, Coyle, Koolman.
Yeah.
That's what I want my third line
It's
to
actually
be.
kind of impressive how Smith has or proven that he can fit in on all three of those top three lines.
He is
Like he's
hot
hopped in
take.
on all three, and that whichever one he hops in on, that line does well.
I think
feel
the
like,
third though
which is
has been
impressive.
the point where he hasn't done not he didn't do bad. But
Yeah.
he's definitely been better on that top two
Yeah.
winger role. But I still think, hey, the boys will get it done.
Well, you play him at those top two roles and then drop him to the third line. He plays with a little bit of a fire under his ass.
He could be cold though, you know, like Thomas Caberlet a few years back in that cup run. He was going from playing almost 25 minutes a night, 28 to, you know, seeing maybe like 11, 12 on that third pair. And you know, his game go down a lot. So I think he'll get his touches in. I mean, our third line's reliable enough that I think they get more shifts than the average third line. Just a Bruin style hockey. But Taylor Hall, though, wrapping this round, how do you boys think he'll do and how he's gonna adapt? Because you saw, I think he like wants to be in Boston.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
I
always
think he
think of
sent in.
that. I always think of that as an important thing when it comes to a
Mhm.
player going to a new place is how bad that player specifically wants to be there. Like, for example, Eric Stahl gets traded to Montreal and he immediately or has in the past talked about how Montreal is his favorite city to play and he loves Montreal, scores the OT winner in his first game, right? Like, it just like when you're going to a place that you really want to play in and have wanted to play in Hall's case for the last like 10 years, has wanted to play there. Um, that just adds an extra fire under you and helps a lot. So I'm excited to see that, especially the Bruins game is home tonight, so his
Mhm.
first game home in front of some
Against the
Bruins
Sabres.
fans.
Against the
Yeah,
Sabres.
that too.
If we
It would have
lose
been
tonight, I'm logging off. I'm not where. If we lose tonight, I'm never hopping on this podcast again. That's a fact.
but
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's interesting because you see all this hate on Hall on on Instagram and Twitter comments. People are saying like Bjork and even a second, like everyone was overpaying, blah blah blah, because he's terrible and nobody wants him on their team because he thinks he's cursed, whatever. If you think about the
Clowns.
teams that Taylor Hall has been on, he has been like the guy or expected to be the guy
First
on.
overall pick, though, I would assume that's
yeah,
a
Well,
fair want.
well, think about it this way. He Edmonton for the longest time had they had what? They had four like first overalls in 6 years, seven
something
years.
like that. Yeah,
They are terrible at developing players. Terrible. So he gets out of Edmonton. First year in New Jersey lights it up, but after that, he's got too much of a burden on him. I think he was rushed. Then he goes to Arizona, same thing. He's got all these expectations flying around him. Um, and I was reading an article about it, and he said
I think I
something.
saw it. Yeah,
He said something about this. He was like, I'm happy to have other people
yeah,
on the team to kind of just take a step back, even with Buffalo.
yeah.
I know he was playing with Eichel, who's another big name, but he was all the attention was on him.
Hmm.
So now you put Taylor Hall on that second line, you take the expectations off. Not that there aren't any, but you can kind of let him give him a breather, give him a breath, let him play his game because I don't think he's really played his game in 2 or 3 years.
I know people tend to forget that he was the MVP in the entire league, and I love the
2018,
clown.
I think.
The clowns love to just be like, oh, why are people acting like he's good? I don't know, maybe because he has a fucking MVP under his belt. I'm not sure. Maybe first overall pick, heard of him, maybe. Um, but
It all goes back to the mental side of it. If there are
yeah,
if you feed into the expectations that the fan base puts on you, then
mhm,
you are going to crumble.
yeah,
So the fact that he's coming to a Boston franchise where there's already all these, not a superstar, loaded roster, but a very good, very deep roster,
yeah.
he's just kind of going to fall into the mix and he's going to play his game. And I think
Devil
that's what he needs.
Devil's advocate here, though. It is Boston, and Boston loves their scapegoat when it comes to players. And if Taylor Hall, it could easily be Taylor Hall. I'm not saying that I personally would pick that because I'm not usually the guy to be like, Tuukka Rask sucks. He's the reason we haven't won every cup every year. But people love to pick on Tuukka. It's been Grizzly as of recent, a
Hmm.
few months
Yeah,
back,
I
stuff
agree.
like that. They could laser him, be like, we traded for you, and you're not over a point per game. We don't need to be a point per game. We need him to score fucking goals. Just under a point per game is fine.
yeah,
Just do your fucking job. So that's my only thing. I'm just playing
yeah.
devil's advocate. It is Boston.
No, I feel you. And there's always going to be plenty of fans that are like that. And there's going to be plenty of fans that are going to lay into him no matter what he does. But, you know,
It put it would be that way wherever he went. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Whether it's Boston, whether it's, you know, Edmonton, he's going to have those high expectations and he will be the scapegoat if the Bruins don't figure it out or if any team didn't figure it out. I just think if he's sitting here saying, "Yeah, I almost signed here this past summer. I loved playing here before." I think the fact that he is in a spot where he really, really has wanted to be,
Mhm.
it's just another good thing to hear as a Bruins fan.
Oh, absolutely. And I saw that I think one of you sent a post in where it was like the Buffalo's GM came out and said like we did have a better offer on the table for Hall, but he did have the no move clause, so he did have a little bit of power there. But he really wanted to go to Boston, so we sent him there. And I'm like, fucking right, give me back Bjork then. Take a third. All right, boys. I think we covered some Taylor Hall discussion. What are some other big trades we may have missed?
I know you. I mean, this one wasn't like loaded with players, but just a little sneaky one that you mentioned a little bit, Raph, earlier in the day. Jeff Carter to the Penguins for a third rounder and a fourth rounder. And you sent what the Penguins lines look like now.
Sneaky.
With Jeff Carter playing center on that third line, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's a little scary.
Is this
They look
2014
solid.
Carter? No.
No.
Is this 2021 Carter who has a little bit less gas in the tank? Yeah, sure. Is it still Jeff Carter? Fucking right, it is. I think he just adds a lot to that. I love Jeff Carter. I think he has a good game. He's a vet. He's gonna add a lot to that. A depth third line center role, something like that. And that team is already sneaky deep as it is. I mean, you got Sidney Crosby making guys like Brian Russ look good all day long. So you know what I'm saying? I think if they can figure out their troubles on defense and that goaltending stays hot, just another fucking team in the East Division.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Jeff Carter's playing between Jason Zucker and Evan Rodriguez on the third line.
Interesting. Very
that's
interesting.
That's a really good third line in my opinion. I mean,
Rodriguez
played alongside Crosby in the beginning of the season. Like,
isn't that like Eichel's best friend or something?
I know he went to BU, so they might be pretty close.
Like
yeah,
pals. I think they had play dates.
I mean, you look at the players that the Penguins bring in around trade deadline time too, and pretty much every year it's a similar pattern. They go and light it up.
Bullshit.
It's ridiculous. I know. I mean, granted, it's not Jim Rutherford bringing Jeff Carter in, but that's a Jim Rutherford trade.
Rick Nash to the Boston Bruins a couple of years back.
Yucky.
Soup after that.
Yucky. But no, I do like that trade. I do. As much as a Bruins fan, it's hard to see that trade come through to another East Division team, and one that the Bruins are chasing in the standings right now. That is a perfect. In the lineup that you sent, Raph, Malkin's not even in there yet.
Oh my God, I literally forgot about that.
Malkin's hurt, but I think Kapanen is hurt too. So
Kapanen
he was in that graphic though. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, he might be back, or he's like day to day or something.
Okay. Yeah. And maybe those were projected lineups because I honestly don't remember if Malkin was in there, but I know Malkin.
I don't think he was. Yeah.
Still though, dude, you know how those Sidney Crosby and Malkin just like to turn it up. I mean, there's a reason you can't bet against that team every year. Like I think I mistakenly did. No, I actually think I have him in my top 4 for this year.
Oh, I don't have them in my top 4.
I may have. I think that they're my 4 guys. But anyways, yeah, just another team, and then you got the Islanders with Palmieri and Zajac now. Guy scores like his first game. I'm like, this is gonna be. I need a playoff run in my veins. Playoff run in my. This division too. Everyone's saying like, oh, like, Toronto, all those guys. Like this is. Like I think honestly, whoever comes out of this division could easily win a cup. Easily.
I 1,000% agree. But then you think about
the top team, the top 2 in each division are so strong.
Yeah.
Think Knights, about Avs, Leafs, Oilers, Lightning, Canes right now, or if the Panthers slide up, same thing.
They're all within 2 points of each other.
There's one thing with Vegas though this year for me, and I don't know why. Obviously, they've had a really short tenure so far in the league. But do they look like, not saying they're bad, I think they're still a wagon, but do they play a little bit more rattled than they ever have? They seem a little like
they play weird.
Rattled and weird and like unconfident. Like they're still nasty and sick and like winning some games, but like they play this like really like, they've never been behind the 8 ball before.
Well, it's weird
You're
to watch like those top teams in that division because that is a very top heavy division. It's really the top. It's really the Golden Knights, the Avs, and the Wild, and then it just dips. Like
LA looked good for a while, but
St. Louis is okay. At least they're starting to turn it up. I still fucking hate them. The Coyotes have obviously lost 4 in a
Yeah.
row last week, so they're kind of iffy.
And they were just in a
They're
spot,
all
right?
they're
I
all
They were
just
know.
roller
just in a playoff
coasters.
spot. Yeah.
They're
They'll go
yeah.
on good streaks and then dip for a week or two. Go on a good streak, and
So it's
Yeah.
tough. It is tough, like not in the sense that it's hard competition, but when you're playing these types of teams, you're not really getting an accurate, representation of the league. I feel like because this is by far the worst division, is that West division
Yeah.
by a landslide,
minus the top 3.
minus the top
Yeah.
three. So
Especially they're not going to play. It's going to get to the third and fourth rounds where they're going to play a team they haven't even they've literally not played one singular time.
yes,
I was
And
thinking about that's
so-
going to be interesting once we
Yeah.
get to like the final 4 or whatever, the winner of each division and stuff. Yeah, you're going to be playing.
Can we do the bracket challenge and
Heavenly.
just kill the first few rounds and then just not win a
and then
single-
just everything else after the first rounds
Right.
or it's just garbage. It doesn't go through.
Literally can't wait for the Habs and Carolina Hurricanes to be in the finals and just my bracket go to shit. Winnipeg and like Carolina. I'll be bullshit.
That'd be sick though.
What are some other big trades though? I mean, this is really only accounting for Sunday up until
And Monday.
Monday at 3.
Yeah.
But so many trades came in at like 4 because like the Pacific time is like different time guy.
A couple were you going to say one, Aiden? Sorry.
I was just gonna talk about the little depth defenseman trades that the Oilers and Jets did.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
with
go
that.
with that. Yeah.
The Jets brought in Jamie Benn.
Michael Jordan Ben.
Yeah,
Jordy
you put
Benn.
that in, and I was
Michael Jordy Benn.
so confused. For a 6th rounder, the Jets did, and then the Oilers brought in Kulikov. I think that was like the first trade of Monday.
It was, yeah.
They brought in. I'm trying to find it. What did they get for it? There's a million of them here. Oh, just a conditional 4th round pick. So I
Mhm.
do like those little depth defenseman trades because I thought the Oilers would go for someone a little bit more. I thought they would have looked good with Montour before he went to the Panthers, or even like Ristolainen. I thought they would make a little bit of a push for him.
Mhm.
But either way, just little depth moves that I think will probably help in more ways than like we think on the surface.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I think the depth, I think the deadline is a lot for those really like third line, fourth line, bottom 6 type of guys where you need those guys to win. Like you just saw Lucas Wallmark go to Vegas. He's a great bottom 6 guy. Love him on my team. It also kind of reminds me too of the Sam Bennett trade.
Did you mean Janmark?
Oh yeah, did I say Janmark?
No, you said
Walmart.
Walmart.
He went
Walmart.
to
I went Stop and Shop Walmart.
Walmart went to Chicago from Florida.
Did I
with
switch
the
it?
Brett Connolly trade or something.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
Yeah, so
But you
yeah,
mentioned
that was
Sam Bennett.
that was
I
yeah.
was going to bring him up next.
Mhm.
Want to talk about Sam Bennett and forget that I just fucked that up completely?
Yeah, we can forget about that.
Sweet.
Put that behind us.
Sam Bennett, another piece of the wagon for Florida.
Yeah.
Dude, this is getting ridiculous. It's getting annoying at this point. How much of a wagon this team is going to be?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely filled. Not. I mean, they didn't get anyone as good as Ekblad, but
Mhm.
they brought in some pieces that can make up for that for sure. Obviously, Montour was the defenseman in that situation. And then it was like Bennett and who was the other? Wait, I have a picture right here. Yeah. Oh, Nikita Gusev they signed to.
Yes, that's
I
right.
was having a little bit of a rough year, but I love Gusev.
Yeah.
He's a good guy right there.
Sneaky little third line guy.
Played great his first
obviously,
year back with New Jersey too.
Yeah, obviously we're struggling with New Jersey this year though, but on a team like Florida, anybody can hop in there and turn it up with guys like that on that team. So yeah, that's they're looking scarier for sure.
Yeah,
but another little Flames one, they traded Riddick to the Leafs.
I was going to talk about that one
for a 2022 third rounder.
See, I don't get that.
I don't like. Am I missing something? But like Riddick's a solid goalie. Yeah, Anderson's like hurt, right?
He's on the long term
he is on
LTIR.
LTIR. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I mean,
Will he be
he's
back
out
for
what,
Yoss?
I don't know.
So that means so is Riddick backing up Campbell?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Good. I was
That
gonna say they should have put respect on my boy Campbell.
for some reason I couldn't remember if there was another good goalie behind Anderson and Campbell that I was forgetting about. For some reason I felt like there was, and I was like, why are they bringing in Riddick then? But okay, that
Sparks
makes more
kid.
sense. Which
No, I'm kidding.
I think that's a good deal
You
for the
remember him?
Leafs.
Remember him?
Or
Who?
was it Stellares Sparks, or are those just
Stellares.
two completely different?
Two different people, but it was that kid that like a couple years back. I think it was our freshman year in high school. He like won his first game with a shutout. And he like started crying. We were making fun of him. Anyways, yeah,
I think that's good for the Leafs, only giving up a third rounder and bringing
Yeah.
a solid backup in Riddick.
Yeah.
I hope Jack Campbell gets that starting job though if
Oh,
Anderson's
yeah.
gone, because Dave Riddick did have a really solid year 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He'll been playing backup to
Markstrom.
Markstrom. Yeah, I was about to say Holtby, but yeah. So give my boy Campbell some respect. Riddick, just do your job. Good luck in Toronto. They're probably gonna eat you up if you let in one goal. Yeah. I wanted to hop back to the Sam Bennett thing and just talk about him in the playoffs too, real quick.
Yeah.
This dude is known for his playoff resume. Like
What are his numbers?
He just like turns it up apparently. Like I just
Yeah, no.
on the Buddy Pass podcast Twitter feed, just all these people talking about follow that please and thank you. Just talking about this dude Sam Bennett. I never really like knew that he was like that.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly because I don't really remember the last time the Flames have really made like a playoff run or
No,
playoff games.
Yeah, last year specifically with the bubble playoffs, the Flames they lost in the first round, I believe. But I mean, I watched all those games and wait.
Well,
they did like a play-in one, right? They did one of the best of fives, or no? I'm totally drawing a blank on.
No, they did. So
they did. Okay.
He played 10 games in the playoffs last year.
Okay. Yeah.
So they were bounced. So that's at least. Was it a 5-game
series?
Yeah,
they did a play-in and they did a play-in and I call them play-ins, the fucking best of fives. Like
they're best. So they were
and then they went and did the best of 7 and got bounced. How many points did he have in those 10 games?
So he had 8 points, 5 goals.
That's good.
That's good.
5 goals, 3 assists, and 10 playoff games. Yeah. For a guy like Sam Bennett, who's not really like supposed to be a huge goal scorer. Yeah, that's going to be good for the Panthers, especially come playoff time.
It just makes that Panthers team even scarier, dude. I mean, we talked about it last week? Just like the Panthers and Wild finals, whatever. This team just has had all the right pieces for such a long time, but I think it was getting, Quenneville as the coach. They clicked. And I don't think people realize how deep and how good and how grindy this team is.
Yeah.
Agreed. 100%. What are some other big trades, boys?
I was going to piggyback off of the Riddick one with the Leafs, but Nick Foligno is Nick.
Flamingo.
So I have said it multiple times on this podcast, and when we've talked about it, just like, is this the Leafs year? And I've said multiple times, as good as they are, I think they're just missing that piece. I still don't have confidence in them.
Because you were all about they won't get out of the first round. You still don't think they'll get out of that first round?
So, because I don't think so. No, I'm sorry. I think they will. Because that's what I'm trying to say. Like, every time on this podcast when we talk about the Leafs, I keep saying like they're missing something. But I think Foligno just fit right in, and that's.
I was gonna say.
I think that's
Foligno, that thing you thought they were missing.
I think it is. I honestly, he's a big veteran. Yeah. That dude plays with fire. His dad played in Toronto. I think that lines everything up. And I might eat my words come playoff times.
And from an intangible perspective, bringing in some leadership for those younger guys like Matthews and Marner and Nylander,
the highly touted guys.
Yeah. I mean, as mature as Matthews has become, and some of those other younger guys, it's still always helps, except for Marner. It still always
Mitch
helps.
Marner is still a 13-year-old child.
Except for
Yes.
when Matthews moons people.
Hey, that was funny.
It still always helps to bring in like a 6-year captain from I think it was like 6
100%.
seasons or something like that.
Jack Campbell gets hot,
Um,
dude.
Campbell did lose his first game of the season last night. Set the
Oh.
record at 11 games.
Oh,
who did
really?
they play
And it's
last
in
night?
April? Oh, damn, you suck.
Montreal beat him.
Oh, the
Go
wagon?
12.
Dude,
The
shut
wagon
up.
one.
Montreal's terrible.
Yeah, they broke my heart
The
a while
4th place
ago.
wagon.
They teased me.
They
really
did.
tease me.
They'll still make the
thought that-
playoffs though.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, not that hard to do in that division, but yeah, I think that team's gonna go far. But so who would they play in that third round once it gets into the other divisions playing each other?
It's
Would it be
Canadian
Col-
versus West, I think.
so
and
like
then
Colorado or
Central
Vegas,
versus
basically.
East.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I
they
can
would
see them being
play.
Colorado. I feel like they are way too. I don't want to say small, but like their style just does not fit well against a Vegas Knights style of play.
Yeah,
feel
no,
like
and that's what's interesting because they're such a run and gun team. Like all skill, all speed. But that's why I think adding Foligno in is just adds a little bit of grit. Obviously, Spezza's done well in that sense
Hyman
too.
plays well against that style.
Huh?
Hyman.
Hyman, yes, Hyman too. So I don't know, man. I do unfortunately think we're going to see a lot of good teams get bounced once you get into that interdivisional play, just because it's kind of the shock factor.
Mhm.
But it'll be
I
interesting.
got you.
I also wanted to talk about the Anaheim Ducks and a move that they made and some moves that they didn't make as well. So Ricard Raquel and Josh Manson were names being thrown around. A few teams were interested. And I did think somebody would make a trade for, if not both, at least one of those guys. But neither of them moved. And the Ducks did pick up Hayden Fleury from the Hurricanes for Yanni Hakanpää and a 6th round pick.
Say Hakapaa 3 times fast.
Hakapaa.
I did not think you were actually going to do it.
And I thought that was a great pickup by the Ducks and great move keeping those two guys and now bringing in Hayden Fleury to help out Manson on the back end. What was that?
I'm a fan of his. He's one of my Carolina boys. He was actually
no, I like him too. Yeah.
Back when I hopped in that wagon, he was one of like that's around the time he was drafted.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're getting rolling here.
Yeah, he's good. He's only like what 22, maybe. Like
I think he honestly
really
maybe.
young.
I think he could be 23 to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I think he spent some time in the minors.
Yeah. Either way, super young, and I just think that decision of holding on to those two guys, Raquel and Manson, and picking up Fleury is going to pay off. Maybe not in this season, but in the next few years if they hang on to Fleury.
He's 24. He's 24.
Oh, he's already 24.
I knew he was a little bit older than
right.
that, but
yeah, at least on the Canes side of it, I feel like, and I mean, I'm by no means a avid Hurricanes watcher or viewer or whatever. Not that I don't like them. I like them, but I always thought that Hayden Fleury was kind of a key piece of them now and even for their future. So I was a little surprised at the trade. And I'm just as surprised that Raquel or Manson didn't move. But I do.
He's like the Bjork of them. I would compare him to that situation where it's like got some opportunities, He was the 7th overall pick in 2014. Hayden Fleury.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So yeah, Carolina guy over here. But yeah, he kind of just never really reached that potential, almost like a Bjork. But he's shown flashes, and I think change of scenery is going to be good for him. But continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you shedding light on it because I didn't know. Because I mean, I've always watched the Hurricane, not always watched the Hurricanes, but at least as of the last 3 years or so, we've kind of heard more and more about Carolina, and I felt like Fleury was always a name tossed around there. He was always doing something, so I was a little surprised at the move. But yeah, Ricard Raquel and Josh Manson. I think going back to that, I think the Ducks were asking a little much from what I saw. It was
Yeah.
they were asking a first for both of them. Like
And or I think a top prospect or something like that.
Yeah, they wanted like a first and more.
Which is
Something like that.
which is more than what Hall went for, that's more than like what anyone went for.
But if Hall's
So-
value is at the lowest it has
Yeah.
ever been.
And you're telling me
Still a
Ricard
steal, though.
Raquel's isn't either? The Ducks are
I would
what,
say
this-
Manson,
anyone on the
who is I'm
Ducks.
pretty sure, if I'm not, I'm almost positive is a right-hand D-man. Those are one of the most valuable things in hockey that can play in a top 4 role. I'd say his value is pretty high.
but still worth
Higher
a
than
first
they
round
have.
pick.
Yeah, I would say so. Depending on who, depending on what team.
Yeah, I
Not a
guess that's
lottery
true.
pick, no shot, but
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
you know, a 20 through 30. Hell fucking yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I don't know Raquel and Manson's stats, off the back of my hand, despite being the stat guy. But
That's Brett now. He's stealing his throne.
no, he's not. I am the stat guy.
You're the ice cream man.
He's the yes, you're the ice cream man. No, so that was just something because I thought there were talks of Raquel going to the Bruins, and are you guys done? For those of you listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, Brett and Raph are literally just dabbing back and forth right now. YouTube, you get a front row seat, but they're literally. I'm trying to talk about the Brett's looking for it. Oh, he hit it.
No, I'm done.
You guys are done. Oh wait, now he's nay-naying. Now he's doing like.
No, I
the
think he was
whine.
winding it up.
Oh,
Oh,
he did
oh,
that.
oh. Oh my God.
Yeah, so this gives you an incentive to go watch on YouTube. I couldn't tell you what the timestamp is right now, but
300.
towards the end.
Anyways,
Oh,
a hated
man.
flurry to the Ducks and Marilyn Manson.
Jesus.
I think continue Hayes. I'm sorry.
I don't know that I have anything else to say. I think
I
I've
have
lost.
something to say.
No, you don't.
I actually do. I think that Raquel and Manson, honestly, too, like the reason they're asking for so much is look at that team's prospects pool with Drysdale Drysdale coming up, and then Zegras, there too, and obviously for the future. I think those would be nice guys to keep around for the future and as veteran guys for those young prospects there. Maybe it's just something that they think they could make something of that team in the, not upcoming future, but in 5 years, I think that team's going to look a little differently.
I completely agree with you.
Or Seattle. I feel it's also like a Seattle thing where, I don't know, maybe something that they did or didn't want to have to protect, and trading those guys maybe would have fucked something up, something like that. I'm really not too sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, I meant to bring up their prospect pool too when I was talking about it because they have probably one of the best. I mean, you just listed off some of the big names, but yeah. Hot seat teams? Or did you guys have?
Oh, I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think
I
that's
got
it.
it all on the dabs.
Overall, good trade deadline. Some exciting moves.
A lot.
More action than I
Gonna
thought.
I was
yeah,
just gonna-
definitely
I
better
was-
than I thought it was going to be.
I was just gonna ask because Raph, you
I
were
called
very-
it. I fucking called it.
No, you didn't.
Sunday. I said he wouldn't get traded until Sunday.
Oh, no, I was talking about something else. You did call that. You did say Hall was going to get traded Sunday, and he got traded at like 11:30 on Sunday night. So it
Show
was,
me the
after
money.
Bruins game. I was going to say, Raph, you seemed pretty adamant the last week or so that this was going to be a very quiet and
Yes.
underwhelming trade deadline.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And-
That part I completely biffed on.
You biffed on that.
Yes,
not-
but I also wasn't expecting all the three ways going on. Like,
I don't
like
think
it's a
I'd-
fucking what's that? What's that word? The
Three-way?
house. No, like where the brothel. Brothel, is that a word for like where people do orgies? The brothel.
Yeah, that's like a whorehouse, dude.
Yeah, it was a brothel up in this John in the NHL. There's three-way trades
Can we-
everywhere, man. There's
Can-
There's three-way in it.
Can we keep that in? Brett,
Oh,
are you gonna
100.
cut that out?
I don't know. I'm not the vocab guy. Columbus and all those teams. they're
I
doing
think we
three-way
really
trades
need to
with.
move to hot seat teams.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go
migraine.
first
Oh yeah, no, all you.
because it's a team that I never ever thought I would pick, ever, because I hate being
Kraken.
biased. But I'm gonna pick the Bruins.
Okay. No,
Um,
that makes sense.
just because I want to see I want Hall to have an immediate impact. I want Curtis Lazar to have an immediate impact. I even think Mike Riley is playing tonight, who I want to see
Yes.
have an impact.
So underrated.
Which we didn't really talk about that trade, but I think that's a
He has like
huge
19
move.
assists this year, dude, in Ottawa.
Huge move
Yeah.
for Boston.
Yeah, I just hear a lot of people, I do when people online, they're like, well, we got this person. Then there's that one guy in the chat that's like, who?
Yeah, shut the fuck up. If
Yeah.
you don't know who it is, don't say
Yeah.
anything at all. Go
Yeah.
Google him.
Literally,
But
who?
yeah, I never thought that I would pick the Bruins because I didn't want to be biased, but I'm gonna pick them because I want to see how they do. They do have a tough test, a tough week though. They've got Buffalo tonight, which kind of eases into it. Knock on wood. But then they have the Islanders Thursday, Friday, and the Caps on Sunday. So I think I'm hoping 3-1. I'm hoping Hall has maybe like 2 goals ish,
A million.
tying his season total.
If he maybe he has like 3 or 4 points in this, but or maybe like give him 2 points and then punch Jake DeBrusk right in the face or like throat chop him or something.
I would take that.
I'll take that. That's my guy right there.
Yes. Do you want me to just tie my hot seat player in?
I was
too?
gonna-
Do
yeah.
we want
Yeah,
to
go
do
ahead.
that?
Yeah, let's
just
do
to keep
that.
it quick. Hot seat player, Jeff Carter. 19 points through 40 games this year. He's got
Young
8 goals.
Hefe.
As a depth guy in Pittsburgh, I want to see him do something crazy. I don't know what their games are at all. I didn't look at that. I just wanted to throw his numbers up and say I want to see him get a little bit of points, make a little bit of a name for himself in the Steel
Sure.
City.
Like that. Bro, do you mind if I go?
Yeah, you got it.
Dude, thank you, man.
No
So
problem,
my dude, I appreciate you.
Dude, like anytime. Literally just ask.
Dead ass.
Yeah.
Dab.
They just dabbed again. This is crazy. What's going on?
My team is the Washington Capitals, mostly because I
Mhm.
want to see how Mantha fits in, and also the loss of Verona and Panic. But they did also get Raffle.
I wonder if they're
That's guy.
panicking.
Off the call now. You're done.
Timeout.
You're
I am
think
the
you know
host
what
of this
you
meeting.
did.
If I leave, you guys leave.
Oh, really?
So
I
be
brought
it.
you into this world. I could take you out of it. Anyways, Anthony Mantha, I'm really looking for. I'm going to tie this into it too. He's my hot seat player. Is Anthony
Nice.
Mantha.
Nice.
I want to see. I'm really curious to see how they do because they have Flyers, then Buffalo, Flyers again, and then Boston. So not the easiest week. There's a challenge there, especially beating the Flyers twice. They're a sneaky team. I want to see how they do and how the boys react to the big trade deadline that is past us.
Word. So this week, I'm going with the Florida Panthers.
Let's go. Wagon.
Obviously, talked about their additions earlier. I think this week they play the Stars once, the Jackets once, and Tampa twice. They're a team that's sitting in third right now in that division, not too far behind first and second though. So I think, they're itching to make a push and try to pull off first in that division. Very good playoff position. And with these new additions, like we said, only going to help them. And my player this week, I guess I should have gone with a player that was on a new team. That would have made sense. But I went with Kirby Dach. He's played 9 games back. The doctor. He's played 9 games back, 1 goal, 4 assists. Kind of expected. I mean, I guess for your first 9 games back, I'll let it slide. But I think he'll hopefully start picking it up soon. I mean, the Hawks in that sticking in the Central Division. You have the Hawks, Predators, and the Stars who have a few games in hand on everyone. Kind of all 3 of them sort of battling for that 4th spot right now. So I think a lot of guys on all those teams need to start stepping up, and I'd like to see Kirby Dach be one of them. So again, not exactly sure who they play this week, but yeah.
Don't matter. Docker's gonna get
Also, just want to throw Rupe Hintz in here real quick. 4-point game the other night, 32 points in 29 games. Put respect on his name. Thank you. Good night.
You're such
respect.
a fanboy, but I respect it.
Respect has been given.
32 points in
Brought.
29 games, sir.
Is that good? Is that good?
Yeah.
Decent.
I'd say
decent.
How's the medical bills though, Rupe? Huh? How
All
are your
these
hospital
Genos are
bills?
paying for
That
him.
contract is paying for him.
So give this kid 11 for 8, full no move clause.
Pay him more than McDavid. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but make it all signing bonuses. Give him 950 for the salary.
Just send it
Almost.
all directly to the hospital now. Don't
Yeah.
even
Let's put half of it in my Citizens Bank account. All righty, boys. So I think that wraps up a pretty good episode. A lot happened since we recorded our live episode, which was fun as fuck. A lot of you guys really showed some love on the YouTube, so you always appreciate that,
Yeah.
especially following the gram. I hope you guys liked the ice cream truck story. That was fucking unreal. Also,
Lit-
too, we're thinking about merchandise and doing all that, whether that be shirts, hoodies, etc. Maybe like we can make like a flag, a cape, some
cape.
sports
A
goggles.
cape.
We'll actually get our own pit vipers for you.
a
For you
flag
fellas.
that functions as a cape.
Yes, it's reversible. But
Yeah.
yeah, seriously though, like we're gonna think about that. If you guys are interested, always we'll put up polls. You guys can
Yeah.
just vote on it. If you say no, just never talk to me again. No big deal. So yeah, more to come for that. But that's just a little a little insight for right now. But boys, anything left?
That's it.
I
You
think
took the
we're
words
good.
right out of my mouth.
Fucking rights then. I guess
Out my mouth.
we're done for this week. See you next week. Wear a mask. Enjoy the weather. Maybe play some street hockey. Get outside.
Oh,
Maybe,
yeah.
man. Enjoy the
Yeah.
UVs, baby. Enjoy the UVs. Alrighty, everyone. Have a good one. Peace.